Hey everyone, Sarah here at Three Little Potters. I have another kiln opening for you. I feel like we just did one, but I'm trying to get some stuff done. So I peeked at this first shelf and it looks like, what happened was I didn't have quite enough pieces to fill the kiln. So that last shelf, I was grabbing some refires. I was just kind of slapping some glaze on things and, well, you'll see in a second here. So I believe what we're looking at that there is seagrass over Nebula Blue. And those are two Laguna glazes, and apparently they do not love each other. Some other interesting things in here. So some pieces have sat on my shelf for many months, so there may be some surprises as we're going. This was a refire. It had a spot on it that I didn't love, and it still has a spot. I feel like the spot just moves. Do you see it? It's like one little glaze imperfection. I think I'm probably just going to sell this bowl with the imperfection. It is chuncy foam with fuzzy peach, but at this point it's grayish, brownish green color. It's definitely kind of darkening up as the kiln loads go on. All right, this was a dip of variegated dove gray, and the top section has midnight, and then it has a band of Mako's shipwreck around there. So where it's turning that bluish color is the shipwreck. I kind of like that additional band of color on that. All right. And this is shipwreck and chun seafoam over a dip of rising sunshine. I think that's pretty. I'm not sure if it's showing the inside well, but definitely pretty. All right, let's look at the horror that was this. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this just didn't work, did it? There's nothing for it. It just didn't work at all. Oh. I don't think I'm going to even try. I'm not even going to refire. It's just, that one's just garbage. It's fine. Put that in the trash pile. Oh, this is Purple Aster over Studio White with Dirty Snow as a flux there. I really love Purple Aster. I've got some more of those somewhere too. This was a refire. It was originally Studio White. It had some Laguna Milky Way Blue, a glaze that I really don't seem to like. Right here it's just blue, but in other ways it's, I put a little shipwreck over it, add a little more interest, and it looks better. Variegated Dove over, well, B-Mix, and then Raspberry Mist brushed on. So this is, I don't know if you remember this from the 50 bowls, and I was like pinching it off, and it kind of made it go squarish, and I liked it, so I kept it square. So I've got this little square bowl. Happy accident. All right, this was a refire. It was Micro Pearl and Shipwreck. It had a little crawl spot. So I hit that again with a little bit more shipwreck and it filled in. And this is Autumn Purple. Is it Autumn Purple? I'm sorry, it's Magenta Sky on Micro Pearl. There are a lot of different glazes that'll go sort of that pinkish blue color. And so it's hard to tell the difference sometimes. This is finally getting a little better. This was the Sage Gloss Bud Vase from before. I've hit it with more shipwreck this time, and I think it's finally interesting. This is Ocean Drift by Amico, and I put some Serious Flow. This dish did have texture in the middle, and it doesn't really have texture anymore, so just a lot of glaze. I have to think about making those grooves deeper or a different glaze that's a little less thick. I find the coats of the Amico glaze to sort of get it to behave well creates this thickness to the glaze that definitely can sort of make texture disappear. But yeah, Ocean Drift and Serious Flow look really nice together. And this has texture similar to that one that we just looked at, but here you can obviously see that the Dove Gray allowed that texture to persist. Raspberry Mist brushed to here. Purple Aster over Studio White with Dirty Snow on the rim. This was one of the forgotten on the shelf ones. It already had a glaze on it. I think it had white on it. I put some Fuzzy Peach and Flux Blossom. I think it may have had something other than white on it to begin with. It's been on my shelf for half a year, so. This was June Purple and Lunar Pink. Micro Pearl and Magenta Sky. That's really pretty. I'm losing daylight. It's getting dark so early now. It's hard. All right, this was Nebula Blue with Purple Aster and a little bit of snow. Tempted Refire. It didn't look great before. It's still not amazing now. Probably put that in the bargain bin. Lunar Pink over Micro Pearl. Storm with Dirty Snow on that rim. Storm and Shipwreck with Dirty Snow. All right, this is a new glaze for me. I think this looks pretty close to the test tile. This is Laguna's Seagrass. It's got sort of this green-yellow crystal pattern happening. And that is just it by itself. Again, this has been on the shelf for a very long time. It was white glaze, I think, and then I added Fuzzy Peach. It didn't really show over that extreme blue dragon fruit clay. It was a mystery. It was on the shelf. And I didn't know what this was either. It was apparently ivy. So ivy on this little mystery bowl. I put just a little bit of Chun Seafoam on that rim of that last one. So this was Dove Gray, Sandstone, and Raspberry Mist. Quite the, I'd love to see that on a bigger piece. Yeah. Very fancy. And this was an attempted redo, and it looks like, what did I put on there? So I don't know if you can see that it's sort of like a bubbled mess in the middle. And I believe this was Copper Float, and the original was Night, and not sure why it bubbled. It was a refire, so hard to say there. This was also a refire, and it went really bad things happened here. Obviously the base glaze was Night, and I thought I was doing Lunar Pink and Amethyst, but something didn't work there. Those last ones that I put in, there was a lot of really wet glaze on them, so I'm not going to naysay any of those combos just yet because it may have just been circumstances. So this is Sandstone with Speckled Plum. Speckled Plum over Sandstone again. I think that Sandstone is maybe the base layer I need for those fall colors that I was looking to get before that weren't really. Sandstone and Chun Seafoam. And I believe I have a little bit of Serious Flow on that one too. Cirrus Flow. Dove and Midnight. That was Smoke on that mushroom. Second shelf in. All right, this was Fruit of the Vine over Studio White. It's giving just kind of a nice watercolor vibe. I was expecting more like streaky lines, but it looks just more, just really pretty, honestly. A nice, pretty light purple. I don't know if it'll sell, but I like that bowl. This is June Purple with Speckled Grapple stroking coat. That's the more purple section you can see is that. This was Night with Floating Blue and Dirty Snow. My Blue Heaven over White with Dirty Snow. The Speckled Blues, another Mako stroking coat over white with Dirty Snow. I'd also work with Light Flux if you're interested in that. Aurora Breeze over white with some Sunrise. It's kind of interesting. It's got this sort of darker spot here. I'm not sure what I did there, and it has almost like a green speck too. This was Night with Running Hot Chowder and Chun Seafoam. Night and Floating Blue. I think I should have used a little bit more Dirty Snow on these. It looks a little bit soft, a little bit overall really dark. Not bad, but I think I like it when it's a little bit more blue-white. All right, my first time using that glaze. I don't know if I love it. Maybe somebody will. This is Mako Shino. It's sort of a imitation Shino glaze. It's very brown. It does show the texture well. I'll give it that. That's what Mako Shino looks like. Floating Blue over Micro Pearl. Did that crawl? Still covered in Micro Pearl in that one spot, but probably refire that one. June Purple and Raspberry Mist here. That is June Purple and Chun Seafoam. Aurora Breeze and Sunrise over Studio White. Another green spot. How did I get green in my bottle of Aurora Breeze? Something's going on there. Oh, that looks pretty. This was Chun Seafoam and Jen's Juicy Fruit. Thanks to Unseth Pottery for reminding me to get that glaze off my shelf. Ooh, that one's really pretty. Ooh. The same combination here, just I think a little lighter. Magenta Sky over Night. Goodness. I believe this is Amethyst. Is it Amethyst? Actually, I really think that's Magenta Sky as well over June Purple. Raspberry Mist and Dove Gray. Variegated Dove and Midnight. This is Lunar Pink over June Purple. Looks like there's a little bit of a surface imperfection there. It's a pretty color palette though. Some of these Night, Floating Blue, and Dirty Snow little dishes. Same combo. A tiny mushroom with birch, cordovan, and Dirty Snow. All right, Chun Seafoam with Sand Dollar and Pearl White. That beach look, I think, worked better on a flat surface than it did here. The pearl white moved a little bit more than I wanted it to. Ginger and Aurora Breeze on, no, it's not speckled clay, just ginger and Aurora Breeze. So I believe this is the Speckled Blues on Micro Pearl. And this is River Birch on Night with a little bit of Cirrus Flow. White Floating Blue and Dirty Snow. This is all over the place. And this is a Purple Aster. And I think it was sort of a refire. And yeah, it just went too far. I put the Purple Aster over something else. And yeah, I believe it was Dove Gray and Parakeet. And then I tried to add. And yes, I might be able to grind it. The inside's kind of pretty. Pearl White in June Purple. Oop, one more mini mushroom. It's Merlot and Chunsi Foam on a very small mushroom. Please remind me to buy new kiln furniture. Bad things just happened. That fell and that broke, and yeah. And I need some of these pieces for my video on Midnight Run glaze tests, which those were. And now they are not. All right, well, now that I just lost $40 worth of work, let's look at some of these. These are tests for Midnight Run, which I am doing a glaze review on. Hopefully we'll be able to tell by the shards whether it was a good combo or not. Oh, I will put the broken pieces together. It makes me very sad. All right, that was Fruit of the Vine with Dirty Snow over Studio White. Things happen. I believe that's Midnight Run overnight. And this one also has a flaw. Possibly Midnight Run the control. Midnight Run and Lunar Pink. This is Ocean Drift and Midnight Run. Midnight Run with some Dirty Snow on the top. Midnight Run over Curry. That moved more than I thought it would. No, that wasn't Curry. That was, I'm sorry. This is Midnight Run over Rising Sunshine, and this is Midnight Run over Curry. I actually like it over Curry. That's kind of pretty. Midnight Run over, I believe that's Rising Sunshine. Midnight Run over Micro Pearl. And I'll go over these combos in more depth if you want to watch that other video. So Midnight Run, I think that might be Flux Blossom on there. Midnight Run over Dove Gray. Looks like a pretty solid glaze. I put Midnight Run over that floating Celadon bowl from last time that had that white crawl spot. So we should have gone with a full coat. It did run a little. Another Midnight Run, I'm not sure. I think that's Amethyst in Midnight Run. Chun Seafoam with it. I did a lot of tests on Midnight Run, so I believe that's Nebula Blue in Midnight Run. Ooh, if that is Studio White in Midnight Run, I really like that version of it. That might be the best one. Sort of takes out that brown undertone. I like that. Midnight Run over Brown Bear Clay. Surprisingly pretty. I wasn't expecting it to have that much color in it. And this is it over the Sheltoe clay, just 3 brushed coats. This was Ginger and Amethyst. Ginger does look nice on that texture. Oh, my arm hurts. I should have left the camera on. I don't know if you see this, but I burnt my arm on the shelf when the kiln still, when I realized it hadn't gone off, I tried to like, so irritating. Okay. Speckled Grapple over Studio White with Dirty Snow. Looks good. This is a Micro Pearl and Lunar Pink, I believe. Just not a lot of that pink showing. I think that's just a very, very light combo. So it ran a little bit. Why did it do this? So this glaze already had something on it, and I wasn't positive what was on it to begin with, and then I added more. So I've added Autumn Purple and I've added Chun Seafoam. I think the underglaze is Nebula Blue. But yeah, you can see we've got a few crawl spots. It's really pretty. I'll try to save it. Yeah, it's always better if you can manage to glaze in one session and not have things sitting on the shelf for months and months and months. But yeah. All right, here we have Chun Seafoam, Sand Dollar, and Pearl White. This is Fruit of the Vine over Studio White with Dirty Snow. Again, Speckled Grapple on white with Dirty Snow. I thinned down my Dirty Snow midway through this load. These are thicker here, and I think it looked a little better when it was thicker, so I should have kept it where it was. So I was expecting to see those fingers there. That's a thicker application of Dirty Snow, whereas here we're not really having that. So this is a higher specific gravity. This was pretty watered down. Studio White and Lunar Pink. That was really pretty. I think I must have gone heavy on that one. My Blue Heaven over Studio White with Dirty Snow. Got a black dot on it. Doesn't really come off. That's Rising Sun with Lunar Pink. And My Blue Heaven, Studio White, and Dirty Snow. Well, at least I didn't break anything pulling this shelf out. All right, I had some extra room in this load, so I just went ahead and put in one of the mega mushrooms that have been sitting on my shelf for forever. And this has some night, some running hot chowder, and some chun seafoam, and also a whole bunch of copper float, but you can't really see the copper float, so the copper float just sort of disappeared. But that's a very large mushroom. This one I had glazed last time and just didn't have room for it. Again, 2 times birch, then 2 times cordovan, then some wisps of dirty snow. This was Floating Sunset and Dirty Snow. That one does do fine on texture. I refired this bowl. It was Dove with Studio White, and I went ahead and put shipwreck over it. So the flaw was one small black spot. I sanded out the small raised black spot and put the shipwreck over, and obviously the shipwreck is going to hide a small black spot, so more of a uniform bowl now. Combo from last kiln opening, that was Fuzzy Peach and Merlot, which was one of my faves, I think, from that. So this little dish, last time when I was cleaning up my studio, I had my hands, I had like 14 brushes in my hand with like all kinds of glaze, and I decided to just wipe them off on one bowl. So this is my bowl of mini glazes, never to be repeated, which is kind of a fun concept to have an even more one-of-a-kind piece where you wiped off your brushes. All right, well that ran in a not so nice way. The outside of this is Coastal Blue. It is at least not crazing. So I did a bit where I have tried to alter the formula of Coastal Blue so that I can actually use that glaze. So I think I've got it on a few pieces here. This is it, the Coastal Blue on the outside here. And what I've done since it was crazing on my clay was I've added 5 grams of zinc to the recipe. Well, not the recipe, I don't know what the recipe is. So I, bought that box from Clayscapes of the dry glaze and mixed it up and found that it didn't really work with my clay. So I hadn't used it for like 6 months. So my idea was to basically just give it another try and see if I could make that formula work with my clay a little better. So here it is again. That's Coastal Blue. And then I believe I have snow on the top there. So still a little runny, but we'll see if it crazes as it sits. Chun Seafoam. That one had Fuzzy Peach on the rim. It doesn't really show though. This is Merlot with Amethyst. I had a really interesting pot last time and I was trying to recreate it and I'm not positive what the combo was. So I did Amethyst over June Purple here. I thought it was an amethyst, but I don't think that it was now that I'm looking. Again, this is Coastal Blue here. This one spot here. It's Chun Seafoam over Night, and it has some dirty snow, and it has a couple little spots that need attention. Rising Sun Chang with Dirty Snow. All right, I just have some little dishes to go through here. That is green tea over Studio White. Let's see if I can. Fuzzy peach over Studio White. I believe this is Coastal Blue over Nebula Blue, I hope, because that looks like a good combo and I'd love to find something to use that up with. That is Rising Sun Chang. I guess I didn't mix that well enough. So yes, Rising Sun Chang with Dirty Snow on that rim, and Rising Sun needs to be mixed better. Lunar Pink over Nebula. That is Cactus over Studio White. Amethyst by Coyote over My Night Blaze. And that's also that Amethyst. Coastal Blue with Chun Seafoam. Coastal Blue, why you gotta be brownish? And Chun Seafoam with Dirty Snow. This was Shipwreck over Coastal Blue, and that one did run. Might be salvageable though, it looks like the run is kind of low. Floating Sunset with Chun Seafoam. Variegated Dove with Amethyst. Coastal Blue looking just icky. I think that one had a little bit of amethyst on the rim, but it's not really showing, so. And this is Night with Floating Blue and Cirrus Flow and a little bit of Dirty Snow. Sorry, that one was a lot. And this is the Merlot with Fuzzy Peach. And that's it. I feel like it's not often I have a pile of shrapnel from a kiln opening because of my own negligence. So now that I have this piece that had fallen down, so this is green tea with Midnight Run over it. So looks like a great combo. If anybody's interested in that combo. Wait, is this the first opening where I have no favorites? Oh, am I too picky today? Maybe. That cup's not bad. Light's better on this side of the table. Maybe I'll feel more positively over here. Oh, that one's really pretty. Maybe that one too. Oh, maybe that one's my favorite, and that is a ring dish from the first shelf. Oh well. Oh wait, I forgot about that bud face. That one's really pretty. Thanks for watching, everyone. You know, nothing's too precious that it can't be made another 10 times over, so have a great day, everyone. Thanks for watching.